Hello, this is SeeWing Yee from the Yee Listen Network. Welcome, and today's presentation is buy cash flow homes in the three Silicon Valleys. And they are Silicon Valley of the South, which is Austin, Texas, Silicon Valley of the East, which is Raleigh, North Carolina, and Silicon Valley of the Southeast, which is Palm Bay, Florida. All right, so without further ado, before I begin, let me share you. Again, our company is the Year List Network. We help out-of-state investors from all over the country for the past 15 years to go outside of their comfort zone uh, to buy out-of-state cash flow rental properties, turnkey properties in different part of the country over many years. So, of course, we help hundreds and hundreds of investors to achieve their financial freedom using the turnkey purchase approach, where we have property management in place. We have inventory of homes available to our investors only, which are off market, which are not in the multiple listing service, which is not in the for the general public, whereby you will not be subject to multiple offers and multiple bidding wars out there, where there are like 20, 30, 50, 100 offers per house. You're not gonna see that. So that's the value add that we provide to our real estate investors, right? So again, this in the current real estate market is so exciting, so challenging. And there are three areas that we truly feel where if you put your money in to buy this kind of property in these areas, you will be a very happy camper, if you will. So without further ado, before I begin, physically, personally, I live in the real Silicon Valley, right here in the Bay Area. I've lived here for the past 30 years. And so, I purchased my first home to live, that is, in 1991 in a San Francisco Bay Area, and we purchased at a price of 186,000. And now, 2021, over the past 30 years, that $186,000 property we purchased that right now is valued at approximately $950,000. That was 30 years ago. Then we bought another move-up property, a principal home, owned and occupied, back in 2000, also in a San Francisco Bay Area. We bought it for $540,000 in the year 2000. We're talking 21 years ago. And today's value of that home, I believe it's approximately $1.5 million. So again, although I live in the real Silicon Valley, where it all started back in San Jose, really, California. So I know the market very well. So right now I'm introducing to you Silicon Valley of the South, which is Austin, Texas. As you guys know, Silicon Valley of the East, which is Raleigh, North Carolina, which is the part of the Research Triangle Park. And then sort of a Silicon Valley of the Southeast, sort of a mini Silicon Valley, which is in Palm Bay, Florida, part of the Space Coast technology. So a lot of you may not heard about Space Coast and Palm Bay, Florida, but I will share with you a little bit. I'm not going to keep this presentation too long. If you subscribe to my channel, I'll be more than happy. You can follow my the videos that we're going to put out on a weekly basis, and you will learn about how the process, how we work. But suffice to say, we do the real deal. Okay, we provide real inventories for our investors, regardless of your location, because we work with our network of turnkey providers in those markets, and they have a system whereby they have a one-stop shop, and they have property management for you, so you can buy remotely. You can, and they will help you manage your properties over time, where you can become very, very successful, working hard, working smart, buying multiple properties in the market that we are serving. So anyway, very, very exciting. So yeah, that's what's happening. So obviously, I do not recommend you buy any kind of rental properties here in the Bay Area where the median price is around $1.7 million, which is crazy, right? So you're not going to cash flow. You're not going to earn a good return as a mom and pop real estate investor. So, you buy where live where you want to live, invest where the numbers make sense. And the number makes sense in the three Silicon Valley, which I just described to you. So again, I don't want to spend 1 hour, 2 hour on this presentation to give you, you know, to go over I'm not going to go do a deep dive with you. I'm just going to go over the type of properties you can purchase, the real nitty gritty that we're going to crunch the numbers. Okay. At the end of the day, the numbers must work. The rent to value ratio must work. The capitalization rate must be good, and the return on investment must be ideal. So anyway, very, very exciting. So I'm not saying this three Silicon Valley uh, of real estate investing is going to match what happened in the Bay Area in the next 30 years. But I could safely say that because I lived, I walk the walk. Uh, I have to say the Silicon Valley of the South, Austin, Texas, is where we are at in 1991, 1992 here in the real Silicon Valley in the Bay Area, right? So you need to take a long-term approach, right? So every market is different. I'm not going to say your $186,000 property you're going to buy in the areas that I'm going to talk about is going to become $1.5 million in 30 years or whatever, right? Because no one have a crystal ball. But you have to watch the past history. You have to watch the trends. You have to do your research, do your due diligence, which my organization have done. The Yee Real Estate Network will help our investors to buy in all the top markets, and we have helped so many people over the years to achieve their financial freedom dreams using turnkey cash flow methodology, buying in the various markets. So without further ado, I'm merely going to share the screen and just going to show you three real properties. We're going to go over the numbers. Again, I don't want to spend too much time. I'm going to spend another 10 minutes. We're going to go over the big picture, all right? Going to show you the type of property you could potentially purchase, right? So, okay, with that in mind, let's first go over the Silicon Valley of the South with the Austin metro area. As you're aware of, there has been some insane explosion of appreciation in the Austin market. So unfortunately, you're a little bit behind in the Austin market in terms of buying rental properties. Had you followed our course maybe 2 years ago, had you bought 2 years ago in Austin, where the price at that time was around $200,000 to $250,000. We're talking single family home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, like 1,500 square foot, selling for in the within 20-mile radius of Austin Metro, the high tech hub. Then you would have cash flow at $1,700 monthly rent. You would have cash flow with 25% down payment quite nicely. Now that that $180,000 property, whatever you bought in Austin, now 2 years later, is the value has increased by 50%. So unfortunately, so you have to move away from the epicenter of Austin in order to find cash flow properties. And in this scenario, I'm providing to you so you have to move into the suburbs, further away, so that houses is cheaper. But we're still, going to see some long-term appreciation very, very nicely. And this property is located in Converse, Texas, which is right in the northeast corner of San Antonio. Now, San Antonio is only around 1 hour and 15 minutes below Austin, right? So again, now that the Austin Metro has become affordable and the skyrocketing prices with a medium price around $500,000 to $600,000 already in Austin Metro. So I see a lot of people migrating, buyers and investors are targeting San Antonio because it's so close to Austin, and yet it's still going to receive the growth and what have you accordingly. So just one example, this property right here, located, like I said, in Converse, Texas, which is right above San Antonio, an hour below Austin. So we can still find some affordable homes for investors to purchase. This is the new build, newly built constructions available for sale at this moment, selling for $250,000, and the square footage is around 1,900 square foot. It's quite large, right, in a fast growing area. So so we encourage that our philosophy of buying these kind of rental properties for cash flow. I mean, not that much cash flow. So you need like do a 25% down payment, right? At a mortgage rate of amazingly 3.5%, which is still the lowest historical interest rate ever. One of the and yet, so if it rents for this case, it rents for right now $1,650. I know the rent is kind of low relative to the price, but with the influx of people moving into this area, into the Austin, San Antonio metro, for years to come, we can see the rent gonna rise. So right now, in this particular case situation, as you can see, the numbers. Hopefully, you can see the numbers is a slight negative cash flow monthly after after the debt obligation deductions. You can have a slight negative of 100 and something dollars, which is no big deal. You're buying for appreciation potential, and we see this market gonna have maybe several more years of 10% appreciation or thereabout. So you buy for equity play. So at the end of the day, so if you buy for long term, really it's all about buying long term. This is our philosophy, right? You buy and hold forever. So the best place to strike in the Austin, Silicon Valley of the South is in this area. Of course, there are other, we're also promoting other areas, which is an hour north of Austin as well. And several pockets of cities that have the cash flow situation that we're explaining, but this is just a representation. This particular pro forma, if you will, is a high level presentation of the type of investment property you can purchase. Turnkey properties, property management in place, very easy to rent. So right now it's a break-even situation. But in the next few years, we project that the rent is going to rise, so you're going to have a little bit of cash flow. But most importantly, you can have a good equity play in this market, right above San Antonio, right below Austin. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and segue into another property. So right now we're going to talk about the Silicon Valley of the Southwest. And a lot of people doesn't know about it. You never heard of it really, but it's what we call a space coast, right? Where have you been hearing the rocket launch has been occurring in Port and Cape Canaveral lately? The SpaceX program, the civilian space program that are partnered by Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson. Have you heard about that? Right. So the space technology is really making this area of Palm Bay, Florida, which is like 1 hour to the east of Orlando on the Atlantic coast. So this area, Palm Bay, Melbourne, and Cocoa Beach, is part of the space program. And then the military also have established a military base at Peterson Air Force Base. In fact, the military have a new branch. It's called Space Force, right? Myself being being a retired U.S. Army with 20 years of service, I know all about the military. So we have Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, and even Coast Guard as each separate branch of service. But the military recently have created a space force where they're going to fight the Star Wars program and everything else. So the military are really ramping up this new branch of service, the military space force, where they can use rockets and space technology, Star Wars, all those kind of things militarily, to fight against the enemies. So you have the military, you have the government, then you have the civilian, you have NASA, right? All in this area of the Space Coast, and we see tremendous growth can occur. A lot of people is this, military market is not in the mainstream media, at least for right now, but it will be sooner than later, right? So with that in mind, uh, uh, I'm just gonna share you the type of residential real estate homes you can purchase as an investment that are representation of this area. This kind of property, because we have so much connection, we have some local team out there that have the ability to obtain these newly construction homes that are about to be built. Okay, this is a pre-construction. You can buy the lot. It'll be built within a year. So you have the ability to pay. To select the lot, get into contract and pay the earnest deposit of $5,000 here in Palm Bay, Florida, and then allow the builder to slowly build the homes out to finish building like the first or second quarter of 2022. Yes, that's right. It'll take more than 1 year to build. In case you have not heard, builders are having a lot of problem with new constructions because the skyrocketing cost of lumber and other home appliances, right? So as a result, it'll take a lot longer than usual to build a particular home. So investors have to be patient. But as long as you lock in the price when you reserve the lot, when you lock in the price, in this case, $235,000, only single family home, 4 bedroom, 2 bath, right? Around 1,800 square foot is a very good value. And then, if the builder raised their prices during the construction, you will be the recipient of getting the increased equity in your pocket because you lock in at the price that you pay for, right? 235,000. Hey, by the end of next year, with the increasing construction costs and all that, who knows, right? Your 235K, which you lock in at the contract price today, could be worth 260, 235,000 by the time your house is completed, right? And once again, the property management will be in that area will be able to easily rent a house out for you. And the numbers here, it looks really, really, really promising. The numbers really, in fact, the best in the area. So 230, 235,000 is going to rent for like $1,850, 1,850. You put 25% down payment, right? At a 30-year amortized mortgage of 3.5%, hopefully around that, which is still a historical low interest rate. So take advantage of that. So we minus all the monthly debt obligations, your mortgage, taxes, insurance, property management fee, and all that. Then you still could have a monthly cash flow in this case of how much? Let me see. Oh, this is amazing, like $517. Now, this is the highest cash flow property we have in all the so-called Silicon Valleys, all right? So yeah, the returns are very, very good, very high. So there you go, okay? Silicon Valley of the Southeast, which is Palm Bay, Florida, all right? And needless to say, these homes go very, very quickly. So investors, you have to pull the trigger, right? Because the demand of these homes are so high. Just like everywhere else in the country, is low inventory, right? Extremely low inventory, historical low, as a matter of fact. And then huge demand and the low interest rate, it just makes for a real estate boom, right? So, and then the final product we're going to talk about which is very, very exciting. You may or may not heard about it. We're going to talk about Raleigh, North Carolina, which is the home of the Research Triangle Park, right? So this high-tech hub is going to explode very, very soon. You know, it's consistent, it's been doing well for years, right? So if you have not heard, the Apple is building a $1 billion campus in Raleigh, North Carolina, inside Research Triangle Park. So we see this market is going to explode beyond your imagination, just like Austin, Texas. So if you missed the boat to buy in Austin, Texas, real estate a year and a half ago, well, I'll forgive you because you're gonna have a second chance to redeem yourself because we see some tremendous explosion of housing prices, not only because Apple is coming over here right now because there's other high-tech companies and other migration of people coming over to this area of North Carolina, right? People from everywhere in the country, from the Northeast, New York City, New Jersey, Boston area, they'll come down here to live, to work, and the people from really all over the country, California, coming over to this at this time of it's a very affordable market. We can see this market right now is already have a very low supply of homes to purchase. So it's very, very challenging market. You have to pull the trigger very quickly. Once again, we have a team on the ground here in Raleigh. In fact, Raleigh is just one small component. The whole region, the whole metro is we're talking Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and even Charlotte, like 2 hours to the east, is part of this region. Very high tech hub, tremendous growth, job growth, population growth. So truly, it's very, very hard to find properties for it because of the low inventory, maybe 1 month of inventory right now, or even less, right? In a market for like 1.5 million people in this region of Raleigh metro, there are only like several thousand homes available for sale. So it's just crazy. So we expect double-digit appreciation is going to occur for the remainder of this year and into next year. Who knows, right? So right now, in terms of multiple offer situation, maybe you will see 5 or 10 offers per house that you have to compete with. But who knows, right? I project maybe in about 3 or 4 or 5 months from now, there may be 30 to 40 offers per house. So when that happens, the price will skyrocket. So it behooves you uh, giving the breaking news with Apple, for you as an investor to pull the trigger quickly before the mainstream media will hear about it. So you buy early in the path of growth, then sit tight, lock in your interest rate, lock in your house price. That is how you make your money in real estate, short term and long term. Uh, the price range that we can only get, within 10 to 20 mile radius of the Research Triangle Park, the best type of pricing would be around $300,000 to $400,000. So I have a sample about $300,000 single family home. It's a resale. Was built only several years ago. Although there's some new construction, new builds we're working with the local builders, but it's very, very few of them available. So we have to fight. Our investors have to fight very hard to find them. So the numbers initially may not impress some of you, but again, we're not talking about if you can achieve break-even cash flow in this market, uh, and then maybe even a slight monthly negative cash flow at 25% down payment. That should not stop you because the potential for appreciation in the next 2 to 3 years will be very dramatic. Same thing that has happened in Austin, Texas last year, right? If you don't know what happened, the skyrocketing prices that occur in Austin, Texas, we are calling here, Raleigh, North Carolina is really the Austin 2.0. So again, I want to, so let me finish up with this pro forma, if you will, $299,000. Uh, and his the rent is kind of low right now, but it would not be for too long. This is how much is this? This is $400,000 property. That's fine. This $400,000 property, like 4 bedroom, 2 bath, in like 2,000 square foot. It rents for $1,850 right now. So The rent could be higher when you have more of high-tech workers that are gonna move into the area, and you're gonna see that many of them will not be able to find a house to buy, so they have to rent at least for the next couple of years. And those people making $100,000, $150,000 have no home they can buy because of the limited low supply of homes in this market. So they can rent, and they can be more than happy to pay you $1,850 or even $2,000 of rent, maybe even slightly higher in the next few months, right? So that's how it goes. But I want to be cautious. I'm just going to put 1850 rent based on this 399,000. But again, you expect to bid against 5 or 10 other buyers. So this 399K could be bid up to maybe a 10% above asking to around 410, 420. But again, I still encourage you to pull the trigger, even you have to buy a little bit above asking, at least for right now. Who knows, in the next 4 to 6 months, this home, there will be 40 or 50 buyers going to be offered for the same kind of house as you see in front of you. So, but right now is the best time because for the reasons I just told you. So at 25% down payment, so your total out of pocket, including closing costs, is around $100,000. You get a renter in for 1850, so break even, maybe a slight negative cash flow, $100, $200, maybe even a negative 300 per month is still okay because the rent is going to rise soon with your next tenant, whenever that is going to be. As I said, but it's all about equity play. It's all about a potential for appreciation because this market is going to explode, right? Because this is the Silicon Valley of the East, Raleigh, North Carolina. All right, so that's kind of really all I have to say. You're thinking, I'm talking, short-term gains. Yeah, short-term in the next 2 to 3 years, you're gonna see some good profit margin, as the market evolve in this area in the Research Triangle Park. But I still want you to think long-term, next 5 to 10 years and beyond. You buy in a hold for the long term. That's how you make your money, right? Slow and steady, right? So, the real estate market is, changing rapidly, in the entire country, really, if you think about it. But if you know what you're doing, if you do the right research, in which we have, we've been in this market, we've been in all this market for the past 15 years. So we understand the market very well. We have a team of turnkey providers in the local market here, uh, uh, here, there, and everywhere, right? Silicon Valley of the South, Silicon Valley of the East, Silicon Valley of the Southwest. We have our imprint in this market. We have specific off-market inventory of homes available for our real estate investors. We have connection with the new builders that in the area know us so well over the years because we worked with them before. So they have a allocation of homes they can allocate for our investors, right? So we're not paying the bidding, playing the bidding war, the multiple offer game, and all that kind of stuff for the most part. So make it easy on you, right? It's turnkey, a very, very, very simple process because you're working with a turnkey provider. Everything is one-stop shop. The whole umbrella is right there for you. So you can continue to maintain your full-time job and all that, and still able to buy multiple properties in different markets, and still having the need to spend very little time to maintain your real estate portfolio, if you will. All right, so that's pretty much I have to say. So good luck. This is an amazing portfolio you can build for yourself. Hey, who knows, right? I don't know your situation. If you have a couple of $100,000 of cash sitting around somewhere, so you can buy one or more properties in each of this market, right? So the key is long-term, diversify your real estate portfolio, own assets, own physical assets, own single-family home, residential investing with break even or slight positive cash flow over time. That's how you design your portfolio. That's how you retire rich. That's how you retire financially free in the next 5 to 10 years or so. So your real estate income and equity will replace your working income, right? Get out of the rat race, achieve financial freedom, and you control your destiny. you design your life in a way you have control. You know, you're not controlled by others, right? So that's what you call financial freedom. All right, thank you so much. This is SeeWing Yee from the Yee Listener Network. Thank you for attending, and I will see you on the other side. Have a nice day. Goodbye.